Hey there, welcome to the Winx Forever podcast. I'm Lola, creator, host, and lifelong Winx fan. I'm taking a deep dive into Hallowinx this year with my friend Thomas Vaccaro, aka Unicorn of War. So whether you've been a Winx fan since 2004, like myself, or you vaguely remember it from your childhood, or even if you're being introduced to it for the first time, welcome. This is the Winx Forever podcast. Hello, fairy friends. Welcome to the Hallowinx edition of the Winx Forever podcast. I am your host, Lola Valentine. Today, we have got a fairy spooky show for you, and I am so happy to welcome back Thomas Vaccaro, aka Unicorn of War on YouTube, to the show. We had so much fun recording this episode. So without further ado, here is my conversation with Thomas Vaccaro, aka Unicorn of War, about all things Hallowinx. Now, you know I simply couldn't cover all there is to talk about this topic without the help of my dear friend, YouTuber, and author, Thomas Vaccaro, or better known as Unicorn of War on YouTube. Thomas, welcome back to the show!
Yes! Thank you. Thank you for having me back. You have opened the doors once more to hell. I don't know why you do this, but you have. And I thank you for that.
Listen, I'm just excited for Thomas and Lola to reunite and talk about some spooky Winx shit.
Well, absolutely. Who else would you have to do this?
Right. I mean, you were on for the Nightmare episode. How could I not invite you back?
I'm still floored that this happened. Like the stars aligned for this. I'm still not sure how or why.
For some reason, it makes sense, though.
It does. I can be quite frightening. It works. It tracks.
Oh, I'm crying. But first, let's talk about you. How have you been? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been doing really good.
Yeah.
Let's see. I took most of last year off from writing after the release of my first book, just, you know, to clear my head and like figure out, okay, like what went right, what went wrong, like give myself a bit of time to just decompress.
Like a retro.
Yeah, exactly. And then over the summer, I just kind of was like, something reignited in me where I'm like, there's this new creative fire in me, and I see like a vision for like so many new projects, and I'm so excited. The main thing is with my first book, Disinherbus from the Ashes, I have decided that there were many things I could have done differently about the launch of that, but the main thing is that I'm going to be rebranding it. It's gonna have a new name that's gonna be easier to say. It's gonna have a new cover. I'm commissioning character art, and it looks so good right now. Like now it's all like top secret. I'll send it to you later, Lola. Just okay. But once that's all done, I'm gonna be doing like a huge reveal probably at the top of next year. I'm hoping to relaunch book 1 in spring, along with hopefully an audiobook that will be narrated by yours truly.
Of course.
I've also been working on book 2 a lot over the summer. That's in draft 3 right about now, and it's coming along great.
Love to hear it.
For some reason, my brain was also like, here's other book ideas for you. One including, funnily enough, vampires.
All right. On brand.
Yes. Yeah, and then the other one is like a weird like Greek god retelling, like inspired thing. A lot of fantasy vibes. Okay. So after book 1 relaunch and book 2, I'm gonna have a lot of new stuff on display. And I'm so excited.
We love that. Oh my God. I am so excited to keep up with all the things that you're doing. Honestly, like seeing my friends like thrive in their creativity, like also encourages me to do so. So like, I love it. I love it so much. I love to see that. And you also revamped your Patreon, right? Recently?
I did, yes.
Tell us about that.
It's needed an overhaul for quite a long time. It's one of those things where it's like it's been on the back burner, and my friends have been like, you should update that. Like people really enjoy your stuff. They would be willing to
Yeah.
like if you like
Yes.
revitalize the rewards a little bit. And so
Mhm.
I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So so
Yes.
um I'm treating it as like a little fan club for people who like want to support me and my work a little bit more. Um the standard rewards are still the same, Discord access,
Mhm.
early access to stuff. But then like in the higher tier rewards, I'm doing like Patreon exclusive content, like character
Ooh,
analyses, and I'm gonna be doing like entire like series like deep diving into different properties for like more niche topics that'll be specifically
yes.
for Patreon members. Um, and also a lot of book stuff when that'll be ready.
Yeah.
Just to like make my author side of what I do like more prominent alongside the YouTube stuff.
Incredible. Yes, if you guys want to support Thomas and all of the creative ventures that he's doing, whether it's the book stuff or his content on YouTube, check out his Patreon link in the description below. Thomas says, I'm so inspired and like super excited for you and all the things.
Thank you. That means a lot. Like
Oh.
I appreciated the support the first time around, and now that I know what I'm actually doing, I appreciate it even more.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. And like, does it ever like dawn on you, like, because I'm sure you had the creators and stuff like growing up that you really looked up to and that inspired you to even like start writing. Like, does it ever occur to you that like you're also helping inspire other creatives to like create their own stuff?
Like it's not a thing that I actively think about. It's more
Yeah.
something that like I go, "Oh yeah, you're probably right," when that gets pointed out to me, which is like
Mm,
it feels so reassuring in what I do, but also very humbling. It's kind of
yeah.
like this cycle of creativity continues, and that makes me very happy.
Ah, yes. Oh, I have chills. I love it. Well, speaking of chills, are we ready to deep dive into some Hallowinx
Oh,
stuff?
oh, absolutely. Yes.
Incredible. Well, before we get to the actual like Hallowinx episode deep dive, because of course we're going to deep dive the actual Hallowinx episode. Because why, what else would
I
we
would
do?
assume.
Yeah. You'd be
Clickbait.
surprised all the people that were like, "You've got to do a deep dive on it." It's like, yeah, that's the whole point. That's what literally what we're doing.
Literally the
But thank
title.
you so much.
Oh my
Um,
god.
that was so funny. But I want to discuss like what Hallowinx even is and why we, the fans of Winx Club, love it so deeply. Hi, fairy friends. Lola Valentine here. So over on the Winx Forever Instagram and Twitter, I asked you guys, what are your favorite things about Hallowinx, from the dolls to the comics to even the episode special in season 2. So throughout this podcast special, I'm going to be sharing your answers, starting with It's Alexandra on Instagram said Mitzi's face when the girls revealed their outfits. Priceless, iconic, classic. We love to see that. It's Jara for real says the fact that there was even a Halloween episode of Winx Club. We actually get into that in this episode. So yeah, we will discuss that for sure. The outfits and the comic, but I wish they would have done a story for every Winx, not just the 3 of them. Girl, same. You too can join in on the conversation when you follow at WinxForeverPodcast on social media. So the first time that the term quote unquote Hallowinx was ever coined was for this special Halloween episode in 2006, which is season 2, episode 16. However, it wasn't ever used in the title of the 4 Kids dub of this episode, which I find so interesting. Um,
Right? It's so
yeah,
strange because usually 4 Kids titles are great because they're
the
blunt and to the
pun.
point, but and
Yeah.
also that, but like Hallowinx, like it's so clear from the name it's a Halloween Winx thing, and they didn't go for it.
Right. It's very, very funny. The 4Kids version title was The Fourth Witch, which it does like it tells us, you know, what it alludes to, but like to your point, they're usually very straight and like blunt and like this is it.
It makes sense when you watch the episode and you know the context, but anyone passing by, see, this is something I've also learned from like having to rebrand my book. It's like you have to think about someone with no context what they're going to think when they glance at it. And if they see the fourth witch, like they're going to be like,
I'm thinking like Trix.
What is that?
A fourth Trix. Hello.
Well, that also,
funny enough, they're not anywhere in this episode.
not in the slightest. No.
Oh my God. But and then so there's the Hallowinx episode that happens in 2006, and then 6 years later,
a lot of sixes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, weird. Ooh, let's try not to do a third one.
Weird.
Anyway,
it'll be on brand. It's fine.
It will. Oh my God, I didn't know we were gonna get into occult shit like so early on in the episode.
It's Halloween, Lola. Get with it.
That's true. All right, 'tis the season. Oh my God!
Does the season apply to this holiday? We'll go with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Nondescript autumnal holiday.
Yes, I love this, Thomas. You understand, like, how I react when we're together is how I react when I'm watching like any of your videos. So like you're getting like my like IRL like reactions to you all the time.
Thank you. This provides me with a bit of insight. I appreciate it. This is already so off the rails. I love it.
I know. Oh my God. All right. But as I was saying, 6 years later, in October of 2011, Winx Club would go on to produce a 3-part miniseries called Hallowinx Monster Mission, which ran in the Winx Club comic series to help promote a line of just 4 dolls, as well as an online video game of the same name.
Oh yeah. I guess we did avoid the third 6.
I guess we did. Look at us go. Look at us go. Shout out Rainbow.
By omitting 2 of the Winx.
Shout out Rainbow for picking favorites. Which we'll get into it, but
we'll have words.
A tragedy, yes. But I like to say that most importantly, Hallowinx is a state of mind. It's how it makes us feel. It's the same thing kind of like with like Winxmas, you know, like that's the other Christmas holiday themed Winx episode that we don't really talk about the episode itself. We just kind of like holiday season time and also Winx Club. So just
we come up with the vibe. We probably write fan fiction about it, but we just ignore the canon one because it's in the season we don't talk about. Yes,
precisely. Which funny and I just found our third 6.
Oh,
damn it!
Well, I'll prepare the red carpet for Satan.
You did say I opened the doors to hell earlier. So...
This is all by accident, by the way.
Oh, it really is. So we are going to break down all of the aspects of Hallowinx, starting with the comics. So, Thomas, do you want to give us the synopsis or kind of like the overview of the Winx Club Hallowinx miniseries?
Oh, yeah, sure. What was meant to be some simple fun at a Halloween festival on Earth for the Winx and Specialists quickly spirals out of control when they and every one of the festival goers are suddenly attacked by a pack of werewolves. To make matters worse, the Winx find that they are mysteriously unable to transform and defend themselves for the 500th time. It's fine. And their numbers are cut in half as Bloom, Stella, and Flora conveniently remain as the only ones who manage to avoid being captured. I wonder why. As the 3 fairies look for a way to free their less important friends, they find themselves chosen by Gaia. You know, that Gaia, you know, the Greek goddess of Earth. You know,
the Gaia. Yeah,
in case you couldn't tell, they were favorites. and they become her latest guardian fairies now that the Earth has been thrown out of balance due to the planet's restored magic, bringing mythical creatures from the very depths of humanity's collective fears to life. Basically, this is doing what season 6 tried to do, but good.
Yeah. So that pretty much sets up like for us to talk about each comic one by one. But a part of me does wonder if this was Winx Club's clapback to Monster High.
The shade.
I wonder, because I remember, and this I could be wrong, and this might just be rumors, but I remember seeing something somewhere one time about there being beef between Mattel and, well, that's not a rumor, that's true. There being beef between Mattel and Winx Club, but a rumor of Mattel using altered versions of the Winx Club doll molds to produce Monster High.
Okay.
Again, I think that it was proven to be just a rumor. Like the creator of Monster High like came out and said like, yes, I worked on the Winx Club dolls, but only on packaging. Like this is like a new doll concept.
Allegedly.
But allegedly. So it's still though, like since Monster High came out in 2010 and then Hallowinx came out in 2011, like I wonder if it was like kind of a little jab at the bad blood between Rainbow and Mattel. Like, who's to say? Like, that's just me, like, absolutely, like, manifesting drama. But
it's Mean Girls Corporate Edition. I mean, would any of us be surprised, especially, like, in this era when Winx Club was, like, everywhere, like, across the globe? Like, this was kind of the height of Winx Club fame. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Monster High like took a nod from them and then Rainbow wanted to jab back, and that's why they, I mean, I don't know, it seems kind of convenient that this is the time they bury out and like the Hallowinx stuff when they did that episode, I don't know, 6 years ago. Very convenient time to go back to the grave and dig it up.
That's kind of exactly, that's kind of what I'm feeling here. But and the fact that the Winx, like, in a way, like, this is a spoiler alert if you've not read the comics, but we're going to talk about it in a minute anyway. In a way, like, they like slay all of these legendary monsters, and like Monster High is based off of these legendary monsters. I don't know, it just feels very tongue-in-cheek, you know?
Yeah, and I ain't complaining because we got some good content out of it. So thank
really
you, companies.
Did. For having
like,
beef.
It's like when billionaires like want to like show off like who's the better billionaire, and then they just decide to box each other, and I'm like, okay, please knock each other out.
yeah, actually, yes. Would love to see that. So these comics each focus on a legendary monster, starting with issue number 91, Werewolves in Shady Hill. So spoiler alert, if you've not read the comics, this is your moment to bail now.
This is
you don't want to be spoiled
for the hills, for the Shady Hills. Yes.
So we'll just kind of summarize each comic, and then we'll talk about it, and yeah, it's gonna be a great time. So in Werewolves of Shady Hill, issue 91 of the Winx comics, the Winx and the Specialists have decided to travel to Earth to celebrate Halloween by attending a Halloween festival at a place called Shady Hill. Just as they are about to enjoy themselves in the festivities, Flora, Helia, and the fairy pets just like can't shake this feeling of like unease. And then all of the festival goers are attacked by a sudden pack of werewolves just like appear. And to make it worse, none of the Winx can transform, as Thomas so eloquently said, not again. Oh God, not again. And as fate would have it, Bloom, Flora, and Stella are the only ones that didn't get caught. So they set out to search for their friends as they try to figure out a way to set them free. During their search, they ran into a guy named Ferris, who is a man that can actually combat the werewolves. But for some reason, Flora can't bring herself to trust him. So come to find out that the leader of the werewolves was actually being challenged by Ferris, who was also a werewolf, but he wanted to like take over their pack. After Flora helps defeat Ferris and the werewolves kind of regain their territory, the three fairies, Stella, Bloom, and Flora, the Holy Trinity, are chosen by Gaia, the spirit of the earth, to become her newest defenders, as the earth has been now thrown out of balance thanks to its restored magic that the Winx help restore in season 4. And this restored magic is somehow bringing all of these mythical, quote unquote, legendary creatures from the depths of humanity's fears, which is, that sounds like super dark. That's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Like, out of your collective consciousness, this nightmare shall appear. And I'm also just like, oh, mythical creatures. All right, get wrecked, Selena.
get wrecked. So yeah, this comic, I really did love this comic, simply for all of the werewolf lore that they included in this comic. I can tell that they really did do their research in this topic before writing about like these legendary monsters, and like I really appreciate that.
Oh, I definitely have to agree there, because they're not because normally you would expect like dollar store werewolves that just have like the basic knowledge that everybody knows from cultural osmosis, but they're pulling names out of mythology. They're like referencing different like stories and gods and goddesses, and I'm here for this.
Yeah, literally same. So I like, it was so funny reading this and then like me Googling, because I think what did I Google that even like sent me on this like spiral of a deep dive? I don't even remember, but it was something I was curious about in the comic. And all of this lore about werewolves that came up, I was like, I had no idea that like any of this even existed. Like, for those like that also didn't know, like me, so Ferris could be a reference to Farah, which is a name for quote unquote the changing breeds, which is a race of shapeshifters, aka werewolves, used in the World of Darkness RPG. But I'm assuming, I was trying to find like if that was also used elsewhere, like if the World of Darkness RPG also got it from somewhere else, and I couldn't find it freaking anywhere. I'm assuming they probably like RPGs like are talk about people that deep dive, they do their research.
They're like, I will know every detail of like this random thing.
Yes, yeah. So I have a feeling they probably also like based it off of some lore somewhere in the world about werewolves or like shape-shifting characters.
I have an idea, just because of like Ferris reminds me of like the name Fenrir. And like Fenrir is, like, to put it briefly, he's a wolf from Norse mythology. I personally don't know much about him, but I'm pretty sure like he had like a hand to do with like all the world serpent and like tree of life stuff.
Yes.
I don't know, the names are similar.
Right. Yes. Right. And so there's a lot of that. And like, of course, Gaia is the earth, and it's the both physical and spiritual sense, like the mother goddess of all living things, also in the World of Darkness, but also, as you said, in Greek mythology.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she's a primordial goddess specific, because there's the primordial entities, then the titans, and then the gods.
Right. Yes. So like even that in and of itself, like super cool. There's Garrett, who was the leader of the wolf pack, that was the one who was challenged by Ferris. Garrett is a possible reference to the specific race of werewolf in World of Darkness. So like that's really cool. It's really cool like having all of these little Easter eggs, because in the original, like, 6 years prior, in the original Hallowinx episode, we have so many Easter eggs. So it makes sense that they also put Easter eggs in the comic.
Oh, absolutely. If you couldn't tell that this franchise was made by a bunch of nerds back then, this is your wake-up call.
Back then. Very, very much emphasis on.
I made sure to emphasize it, because I feel like season 6 makes it very clear there was a change of the guard.
Yes.
It's fine. We're talking about the good stuff.
You're right. Yes. And that's, yeah. That's all you need to know. Also, in this comic, in this miniseries, and I haven't, disclaimer, I have not read every single Winx comic ever because for some reason America has never gotten like past like comic 20 in the Winx Club comics.
Somehow that's not shocking given our love-hate relationship with this franchise.
Yeah, well. But I don't know if this is common for the comics, but Bloom using her aura reading powers, like it's really, really refreshing to like see her using it past season 2. So,
Oh god, it is, because I always think like, whatever happened to that power? Like, I know they probably got rid of it because they realized they didn't explain fully how it worked, but I'm just like,
mhm.
okay, then just explain it a bit more, or just leave it mysterious, but don't ditch it. Like, come on.
Right. Like you can't introduce that could be proven to be, and it does in this comic prove to be very useful. Like, and then just like say like, oh well, yeah, I don't know. She
Yeah,
just
Bloom's
didn't use it ever again.
no, Bloom's just like, well, I didn't use this power at all while fighting the Black Circle and the Fairies of Vengeance are trying to make the people of Earth believe in magic again, but I guess I'll use it to fight some werewolves. Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
Makes
It's
sense.
fine. It's funny too because I feel like in the comic a little bit she like also like is like, oh yeah, I can read minds.
It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing I can do. I wonder why I forgot about it. Huh.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that's really funny. I also think that is really interesting in these comics. They put an emphasis and like a differentiation between magical powers versus mental powers and versus natural powers. It was I don't did you catch up on that? Like
I did think about it a little bit. The mental power differentiation makes sense to me because aura
yeah.
reading being mental.
Mhm.
Okay, so mental powers are more of an empathic thing, they're more
Right.
passive. That makes sense to me. The thing
Yeah.
that's throwing me is the natural power. Because I'm like, how do you mean like the things you do when you're not transformed? Because I'm pretty sure that's still
Yes.
magic. Or is it because it's from Gaia? In which case,
Ooh.
that's what I'm thinking. But then I'm like,
Yeah.
then I'm also thinking about the number of forms that come from nature specifically, and I'm just like, oh my god, they get so many powers from natural powers. Oh my god.
Yo, yeah, the can of worms opens very fast and it just
Apparently, the
doesn't.
Hallowinx forms are in the same vein as Butterflix and Harmonix and Serpix.
It's also very funny because when I was asking people online about Hallowinx and stuff, they kept saying their Hallowinx transformation, their Hallowinx transformation. These are costumes. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah,
the
like
only
they were wearing them already.
yeah, which is so wild. And like the only thing that really like transforms are like the little like weapons that they get that Gaia like gives to
Which I
them.
love.
Yes, same.
Like,
That for
they're
some reason,
great.
like, yes, like it's so like Flora with a sword. Hello?
Yes, please. Like
Weakest
the
winks
soft
who?
flower, exactly, the soft flower girl has a sword. Like, don't mess with her, do not cross her.
Do not. Oh my
They
gosh.
say the pen is mightier than the sword, but not in this case.
Not here. Not here. Oh, I love it. And then something that you pointed out while we were both like kind of diving into this was Stella using her moon powers.
Yeah, she acknowledged them for once.
She literally said, "Oh, I think the moon helped, or maybe the moon helped me." Girl, what?
Girl, you've been ignoring the moon for how many years now? Fairy of the shining sun. At what? First of all,
And the moon.
what sun doesn't shine? Is my question. What sun does
Ooh,
not
dead
shine?
ones.
I well,
Black holes.
well, you know, that's what the moon's heart's become since being ignored by this girl. So there's that.
So funny. So some trivia for this comic. Obviously this is the first out of the 3 in the Hallowinx miniseries. This miniseries, as we mentioned, takes place sometime between seasons 4 and 5, as Bloom, Stella, and Flora make attempts to transform into their Believix. And they also mention how like they, you know, like brought magic back to Earth. So it's gotta be like somewhere like in between, like after season 4 when they bring magic back, and like way before season 5. So
oh yeah, you know it's pre-season 5 just because Love and Pet still exists.
Yeah. Which, can we talk about the pets real quick?
Oh, they were I'm surprised that I actually kind of like them now. Like,
right?
I'm like, I was not expecting this turn of events. I thought, because I always just considered them to be like cheap pixie replacements that just didn't speak. You know, like every mascot post season like 4.
Seriously, I know. And it's like, it was too much work to like work with the pixies because they actually had personalities and like character development that they had to write in. Yeah. Gross. Yeah. How dare they? So,
exhausting.
So they wrote them out and just conveniently replaced them with these non-talking like other sidekick characters that are just, you know, like buy our toys. So
that, yeah, the Littlest Pet Shop energy. That's literally the whole vibe of the fairy pets.
Yes, but in the Hallowinx though, they are so helpful. Like they, for some reason, like Gaia like grants them the power to like hold the Winx's like weapons. Like, did you like
which is
get
so...
like they were like, oh, here, have this sword, here, have this crossbow. What? Where you been holding that, Coco?
are they weapons dealers? Are the pets weapons dealers? Like, are they like, what's happening here? I'm just imagining like little Coco the cat like holding onto this giant sword. Which is an image, or Belle the sheep just aiming the crossbow at you, just like, yeah, just mess with me, see what happens.
I hope that you know that you've just empowered so many like fan artists too.
I hope I did, because I want it on my desk Monday morning. I'm Palladium.
And we are back with some of your favorite things about Hallowinx. Luke Elementic says the looks of the Hallowinx monster mission. Yes, all of the looks were absolutely iconic. We love all of the outfits that the girls appear in the comics for the monster mission issues. Shirlene Paulo says, when the Winx show Mitzi their outfits again, the appreciation for the absolute shock on Mitzi's face. We've got Stella was a queen in the episode, the 4Kids episode especially. I 100% agree. Dee Whaley says it's an Earth episode and the girls are hiding in plain sight to upstage Mitzi but still have to save her. I think that that's a very good take on this episode. I want to know what your favorite part of Hallowinx is. Share with me on social media at WinxForeverPodcast. And then also, as we've mentioned, the parallels between these issues and season 6. This issue is similar to 2 episodes in the 6th season of the animated series, The Curse of Fearwood and The Magic Totem, because for some reason, the Winx Club Halloween party was like, there was a big totem in the middle of this field that they were all like dancing around. I was like,
I'm not sure why.
That's a choice.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is uncomfortable. I'm just gonna like scroll on past that panel. I didn't see nothing.
Yeah,
I did see that, but I'm gonna pretend I didn't.
That was questionable at best. I was like,
at best.
Yep. And the specialists were so funny because they they really seemed like they really wanted to like experience Halloween. And I can only imagine like how that conversation went, because all of the girls already experienced it like in high school. They're like, oh yeah, we've already done that. They're like, what the heck? Like, why didn't you invite us? We could have gone to what is it called? Silent Villa, and like you know, like helped with the 4th sister and all this stuff. And they're probably like, all right, well, we'll take you to a Halloween party. And then this happens.
I know, right? Like, this is the Halloween party you go to? Like, what? I'm so confused. What?
There's not like haunted houses in Gardenia. Like, what are we doing?
No, or like even like God forbid the goth ball. I feel like the goth ball is at least less offensive than this.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that was a choice. Yep. Moving on. To issue 92, the second installment of the 3-part miniseries of the Hallowinx comics. The Club of Vampires. Thomas, do you want to give us the synopsis of this one?
I shall indeed, because apparently vampires are right up my alley. It's their fashion. I can't help it.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, now that Bloom, Stella, and Flora, and only them, have become Gaia's newest guardian fairies, they must take care of all the legendary creatures popping into existence thanks to Earth-restored magic. And during their investigation, the trio comes across a spooky cafe that turns out to be run by vampires. For vampires. You know, they have a little thriving community over here. You know, good for them.
In Gardenia, which like they never say like where they are like on Earth, but I assume because they never go anywhere else in this era of Winx besides Gardenia. So
well, yeah, because they had sense back then, because they were like, if we want a new location, we'll just make a world in the magic dimension.
Right.
Like, but later on they're like, nah.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about that.
Yeah.
Sorry for bringing it up.
The trauma. Anyway, the cafe owner, Lord Amaranth, desires the moon pendant that the Winx now carry, and so he hypnotizes Flora into falling in love with him, which it's weird that works because I thought Flora had a thing for werewolves and not vampires, but anyway. Right. Anyway, he has other hypnotized servants, and they gang up on Bloom because, you know, Bloom deserves the bullying. But luckily, not all of the vampires agree with Amaranth's ambitions because people are not a monolith. Get your assumptions of vampires out of here. So Bloom and Stella find an unlikely ally in a young vampire named Mina, who looks like the love child of Musa and Chimera. Which seriously, I'm still like, she has Chimera. You pointed out she has like Chimera's face, but she has Musa's hair, and I'm so deeply confused by it anyway. Anyway, Mina, she wants to get rid of Amaranth and free her people. She's a girl boss. She's a revolutionary vampire leader. Good for her. And so the three of them must now defeat Lord Amaranth, not only to restore balance for the sake of Gaia, but also to restore those trapped within the vampire lord's totally not in blood-involved hypnosis. It's totally... there's no blood, guys. There's no blood.
No blood at all. No blood at all. Duh.
None. Humans don't actually have blood. They don't bleed. No.
Oh yeah. Duh. I forgot that lesson in biology.
Yeah, exactly. Until you turn like 13. Yeah. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Children don't need to know they have blood.
Yeah, it's so this I have a lot of feelings about this installment. Like we started off great. All the werewolf stuff in the first one I absolutely loved. We get a little interested with the choice of like direction they went with the vampire stuff. The vampire lore in this one, so Amaranth, the vampire leader or whatever, his name is a reference to a term used by vampires to describe the act of drinking another vampire's blood and then drawing their soul into their own. And this
Cannibal
description
vampires.
Cannibal vampires, exactly. So this description that I found comes from, again, the World of Darkness RPG, but it's also like a part of vampire lore, like this race of vampires that like suck on people's souls after they drain them, which is so interesting. It's like how they like stay young. So yeah, I thought that was so wild that they again like kind of like did their research on, oh, we can't have them suck blood, so like let's have them suck souls. That's totally better.
Exactly. It's like maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's human souls. Oh my god. this in my vampire book now when it eventually releases.
Please, yes. Please, yes.
Anyway.
Oh, man. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting that like they went with the sucking life essence out of the humans route instead of the blood. Like, yeah, this is still a cartoon for kids / comic for kids. So, whatever.
The children can know about blood.
No, never. You're listening to the Winx Forever podcast. In this one, yeah, Bloom gets a crossbow, which is very funny because she again points out how like she can't transform with her magical powers, but her natural powers like are they draw from, or she draws on them from fire, and so she's able to still like use her fire abilities, which of course we all know burning a vampire kills them. They hate fire. So that was interesting. Also, I can't remember, did Stella was waiting outside because she was like very put off that they didn't allow pets inside the restaurant, which like Stella, that's a very common like
she was very
very common practice for a restaurant.
Like, these pets are our children, and I'm like, oh, you're that kind of person. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, she saves the world so that her pet can have a better life.
And I'm like, Stella, you just met Ginger. Like, calm down. Take it down a notch.
Oh my god.
Didn't
so
you also
yeah,
hate being a Black Mud Swamp girl? Like,
right, but
like,
I wouldn't think that like Stella is like the animal loving type, but like apparently we are wrong. But of course,
magical poodles.
It's exactly, if they're magical poodles, I mean it's a glorified purse dog. So
literally.
So
it's only
yes,
because it's a fashion accessory.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, what else about this comic? The other people in the cafe, yeah, they were also vampires. So it was like a cafe, like you said, by vampires for vampires. So they could like eat each other's life force. I don't get it. But
I don't know. I don't understand vampires.
I don't know.
It's not my place to.
It's none of my business. But did Stella at any point use her like sun magic to like, because they don't like sunlight?
I don't think she did. She just kind of like chilled outside, and then she was going down the spiral staircase with Mina complaining about the lighting and interior design. And I'm like, okay, go off, queen, but like time and place.
That is when in the spiral staircase is when she.
Oh yeah, she did a little bit of it, but then she was like, "Oh no, it's not working on the humans," and then she ran out of ideas.
That's right, because part of the people were humans who were being like hypnosed by also Amaranth. Wild. It's wild that Amaranth was able to like hypnotize Flora as a fairy, as a magical being, and also I feel like her magical essence shouldn't have allowed that to happen, but like whatever, no one asked me.
I mean, really it's just because Flora was the main character of the last issue, so we gotta find a way to make her less prominent, and so this is how we shall do that.
Yeah, and that's also why Stella all of a sudden cares about animals.
Exactly.
So that Bloom can have all the spotlight. It was Bloom's elaborate plan.
Bloom was playing 4-dimensional chess on how to be the main character.
She said, damn it, I thought I agreed that I was the only one chosen by Gaia.
Oh my god, what if she actually paid the vampires up to set all this up just so that, all this would go down?
I wouldn't put it past her, honestly. Like, post Secret of Lost Kingdom Bloom would.
Oh yeah, she would. And she'd justify it. She'd be like, I'm just returning things to the natural order.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. But her bow and arrow is cool. Her little crossbow, that's very very cute. It's very like cutesy Van Helsing.
Very fashionable, very chic, but also very deadly. I also just love it because she's both fire and she's also a Sag, and as a Sag, I gotta appreciate the fire arrow girlies.
Yes, absolutely. We love it. It's great. And I also love, like, in each of these comics, when they like defeat the legendary monster, like there's this full page illustration, and it's the one that many of us have probably seen online without even reading the comics. That is it's so pretty. Like, I love the art. I love it all. It's so it's great.
Oh, it's absolutely stunning. Like, I see why those are the covers. Specifically Flora's. Flora with a sword again. Flora with a sword.
All right, and so that leads us to issue number 93, Revenge of the Mummy. So in this comic, the Earth's restored magic continues to awaken more legendary creatures from the depths of humanity's collective fears, because that's not terrifying at all. And it makes them into a reality. And so after settling a dispute with the werewolf pact and also destroying a vampire lord hungry for conquest, Gaia's latest guardian fairies, Flora, Bloom, and Stella, still
only
have
them.
only them. Very important. It is only them. They still have one more job on their hands, is to defeat this ancient Egyptian priestess who wishes to plunge the planet into eternal darkness, as one does, in order to resurrect her lord. In this comic, unfortunately, Stella's powers, again, as we've seen in the previous 2 issues, have been rendered completely and utterly useless due to the sun. So the priestess, like, causes a lunar eclipse, a solar eclipse. Which one is the one that the sun goes
the solar eclipse, I'm pretty sure.
Solar. Yes, it is being eclipsed by the moon. Yes, the solar eclipse.
Yeah.
What is the one where things go dark?
I'm like, good move, girl, abandoning your moon powers. Great.
I know. Literally. It's like, it's so funny that she's like, oh, maybe the moon helped me in issue 3 of this miniseries. And then now she's like, moon who? I don't know her.
Moon who? Oh my god, that's the official motto of Celeria.
Oh, woof. That brings a whole new meaning once, like, you know, Luna and Radius separate.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Queen Luna who? Ooh.
Yikes. Oh, no wonder Stella's so messed up.
Oh, but for real, we love a traumatized queen.
We do.
And now, here are the rest of your favorite parts of Hallowinx. Phoenix Grim 911 says, I love the episode. It's fun. It stars my favorite holiday. I think that is a general sentiment in all of our hearts. It's definitely a beloved episode of a beloved holiday celebrated. Dolls with Dasha says, how terrified I was to go to sleep as a child every time I watched it. That was your favorite part? Okay, I mean, I'm not here to judge. Closet Chloe Cosplay says the costumes, yes, their Hallowinx costumes were incredible, but also the fact that they used their Winx transformations as their costumes to Mitzi's party was even more iconic. Sun Magic says the dolls who seem to be basically non-existent today. Honestly, same. It's really hard to get a hold of those dolls. Who even knows? Who even knows how to get them or where they are? Friend of the show, Stella's Winx Club says, okay, probably everything. The dolls, the outfits, the theme as well. This can integrate Winx into our lives even more, which I think is a very special and fun thing that happens when a show gives us a holiday episode, right? It's like very relatable, something that we can, as Stella mentioned, can integrate into our lives. I think that's very, very fun. Some other people said the artwork, the unique design for each Winx. Dane, or it's Dane on TikTok says the doll commercial was iconic, which we will actually be discussing in this episode. As well as Kuroki Moo on Instagram said, I loved the season 2 episode. Sure, it was just filler, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. I love the ending. Jig. So very fun. Thank you guys so much for sending in your responses. We'll mention a couple more as the episode goes along, but I hope that you guys enjoy this episode and have a happy Hallowinx. So Stella, her powers are not working because the sun's being blocked out. They eventually are able to defeat the mummy with the help of course, Ginger giving Stella a scepter, but it's not her scepter. It's a different scepter. It's Gaia's scepter.
Just to confuse you.
just to confuse us. And I mean, it a little bit kind of looks like Chimera's in a way. It's like Chimera's in a different font.
Oh yeah, it's the red gem, I think, that's making it look like that.
Yes. And so it's just very funny. So they are able to stop Lamia before summoning her Dark Lord without Stella's powers, thanks to this scepter provided by Gaia. So yeah, that is the Revenge of the Mummy. Like we said, Stella forgets she has moon powers again. I was disappointed because while they do have like this ancient Egyptian lore in it, which is really cool to see. Lamia, who is the priestess under Apep, the embodiment of chaos, is like the ultimate enemy of the sun god of Ra, which is very funny that Lamia wants to resurrect the sun, the exact enemy of the sun, you know, like of Stella, basically, which like that's a cool like play there for sure. But it's really, I just feel like this one was like very lazily written compared to the other two. Like we started off so high with the werewolves.
We did, and it's just been a progressive like slope downhill. I don't know, like there's something about this one where it feels like there's not really a story unfolding. Things are just kind of like happening. And Stella gets handed her victory, and I'm like, she couldn't like figure out a way around it. I don't know. Again, use the moon. Just a thought, like, or even like if this Apep or Apophis or like whatever he's going by, if he's the enemy of like the sun god, I don't know, Stella. Doesn't that sound like a god you should like, I don't know, align yourself with? Maybe he's pals with Gaia.
Yes, right. Yeah. No, but for real, like
Egyptian
that would have been
Queen Stella. Make it happen.
Ooh, that would be so cool. It'd be very cool. Like, yeah, to see them kind of like mixing those two lores and like having that moment, you know, and like we weren't given that. And a lot of people are like, they should have done all 6 of the Winx like issues of this and And I'm like, I'm kind of glad they didn't, if like they kind of like progressively got worse.
Yeah, and also like Stella is like the second most beloved by Rainbow, and if this is what they do with her, I don't want to see what they'll do with the others. I dread what they do to Tekla.
Oh my god, I know. I don't even. What would she even like rage against? Like,
I assume Frankenstein's monster because lightning, because that's all we've got. I mean, I'd rather her fight her than Frankenstein's monster try to take her on a date. Yeah, I just unlocked a whole lot of trauma for all of us.
Oh man, can we talk about though? Even though this like Revenge of the Mummy arc is like very like in comparison to the other two, like poorly done, like it's still way better
in season 6.
In season 6. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. We know that.
Because the bar for season 6 is in the depths of hell with everyone's collective fears. Like, it's really not hard.
Yeah, I don't. That's so. Yeah, it's really sad.
Disheartening,
like,
yes.
It's disheartening. It really is. Like, it's cool to see like so much creativity and stuff flow in these early seasons and even in the comics. Oh my gosh, like this inspires me to like want to read all of the comics like so badly. Like,
oh, same.
This was good.
Like, I've heard so many wild things about them too, and I'm like, I wanted them to go on like wacky misadventures that are outside of the plot. It's why I love season 2 so much. And I'm like, oh, if the comics are all of that. Oh, okay, sure.
Sign me up. Yes.
Oh, hell yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm really excited to hopefully get more than just like the first 3 to 20 comics in America finally.
It's just that for all of eternity. It's that cycle of only those comics. Every so often, every few years.
I tell you what, Rainbow's gotten a hell of a deal out of like those being produced though. They probably like spent what, like a couple of $1,000 having them produced in 2004, and now like 20 years later they're still reproducing them. Oh my god, talk about a return on investment.
Oh Jesus Christ. Part of me is like, good, get your coin, but also it's Rainbow and I want to be spiteful and stuff.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that they keep repurposing it or the fact that they can't come up with anything better, because they know they can't, because it was the golden era of Winx Club.
The answer to both questions is yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, but I did
rebooting it.
Oof. Listen, oh yeah, well it's scary because they've known for years that they can never top the golden age. So what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why do we need a reboot? Because of money. Speaking of money, I really did enjoy these Hallowinx comics, even if they were just a marketing stunt to sell toys. I really do think that they did a really good job of all of this, and I do think that like this little 3-run miniseries is what inspired season 6. Like it had to have been like the legendary monsters. Like season 6 was what year? 2015?
I want to say 2014 into 2015.
Yeah, so like it was a few years before that, and so I feel like there was like a lot of heavy inspiration in that. I mean, that's really cool to see that even though season 6 is garbage, that they were able to pull from like references and inspiration from the golden era of Winx Club, because it's the best we have.
And it's just the well we keep going back to. We don't know why the fans know why we keep going back to, but Rainbow is just like clueless.
Yeah, right.
They're like, made us money. We don't know why, but
it's also very funny that like they waited so long, and we mentioned this earlier, like they waited so long to come out with this like mini series and this run. To your point, it was like at the height of, like, to me, like season 4 was their pinnacle. Like they had just come off like their 2 movies and this 4th season that no one thought was coming. Like no one saw season 4 and like Magical Adventure Happening, really. Like we thought like Secret Lost Kingdom was it, kind of. Especially in the States.
I remember like hunting for season 4 online, and I think that's probably when a lot of fans like learned like, wait, it's more than just the 4Kids dub. And I feel like maybe with the Winx fandom there was this huge like swell of excitement because of that. Maybe it wasn't the pinnacle of quality, but it was the pinnacle of like hype.
Absolutely.
And then after that, Nickelodeon happened, and we all know what they were.
Yeah, straight into the toilet. But as we mentioned, this 3-comic miniseries was in conjunction with the release of 4, not 6, but 4 special Hallowinx. Never 6, because that would make way too much damn sense. Special Hallowinx Monster Mission dolls by Giochi Preziosi, as well as an online game of the same name in October of 2011. So the dolls were, of course, the Holy Trinity, Flora, Bloom, and Stella, but also randomly Musa? Right?
Like,
what?
So I mean, as a Musa stan, I'm not complaining, but I'm also deeply confused, because normally, like, it is like Bloom, Stella, and Flora is the Trinity, and then sometimes Aisha gets included in that,
right?
But normally,
because diversity.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, Aisha's a queen, but like, let's be real, like corporate cynicism. That's the reason.
Yep.
But like, Musa and Tekna are usually the forgotten ones. Like they're usually the losers. I'm not shocked Tekna's not in there, but Musa.
You know what's so funny? For some reason, it was like a Mandela effect. For some reason, I for sure thought that the fourth was Tekna, but only because there is a person in the fandom that, and I'm blanking on the artist, but there's a person in the fandom who created a Tekna Hallowinx doll, and it looks phenomenal. It's so well done that I thought that it was official.
Oh wow! Look, as usual, the fans are the ones doing all of the work for Rainbow. Including
Seriously.
the damn dolls.
I know. It's embarrassing at this point, Rainbow. Jeez.
It's not even embarrassing. I just find it hilarious. I wonder if this keeps Eugenio up at night.
Probably not, because he's still making money.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't care. Oh,
Which,
man.
I mean, like, good for him, but also, like, how dare you, sir?
Oh, yeah, but even still that they included Musa in this line, they didn't give her a damn thing.
Like,
these dolls
with the bare minimum.
These dolls include their Hallowinx outfit, which is like really like cute and gothic and like adorable.
They're fabulous.
Yes. And then a goth version of their cute little fairy pets, a skull with like a lock and key for some reason, but also
Iconic.
very cute, and a hairbrush. But Musa, she only got the skull, lock, and key. What? Those weren't even like things in the comic.
Her hair doesn't need brushing. Her fairy pet doesn't exist. That she don't.
Pepe who?
Yeah, Pepe who? Just like the duck Pepe, we've forgotten him.
We just doesn't exist
the
in
name
Rainbow's
Pepe
eyes.
Curses you to the darkness of oblivion, but not the actual oblivion. God damn it! I just realized there is actually an oblivion. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, I'm weeping. But yeah, so like, even though it's like Musa's there, it's nice to be included, but she's still not really a part of the gang. Like, it's really sad.
No, you know what it's giving? It's giving Asami Legend of Korra. Like, I'm here, I just don't get any cool fights, and I'll get ignored half the time.
Jeez, no, for real. She didn't even get a damn comic. Like, she has a doll. She didn't get a comic. Like,
didn't she fight a banshee or something? Like, come on.
Like, let's give her a siren, maybe? Like, music, hello? Like, yeah, like, that would work.
Literally right there. Or if you wanted to be lazy, since the siren is also kind of a mermaid, have Aisha and Musa give them the same comic.
Ooh,
Sonic Wave.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I have to ask, did you ever see the commercial for this doll line?
I watched it earlier when when I saw it, because I was looking over this before the call, and it frightened me.
It's dare I say, scarier than all of Hallowinx combined. Like, it is
but not in the way I think they intended.
Oh no, not at all. The little girls in it, bless their hearts, why they do them so dirty. Terrifying. So scary.
They're
the scariest part about the whole thing.
There's something about scary kids, but even more so with them, because they have such freaky smiles and looks in their eyes that just scream, and I don't think that nightmares.
Oh my gosh, that just scream, I know what you did last summer. Oh, like, it's so scary. It's terrifying. Like, and I don't think that it's the poor little girl's fault. Like, they're just following bad stage direction. Like, it's just bad.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's not their fault. I hope they're not haunting anyone currently.
Except for whoever produced this commercial. Them, they can.
They can get it.
Free game.
Yeah, exactly. The ghosts can have a field day with them.
Oh, if you guys want to check out the if you want nightmares, the curse commercial, I will link it in the description so you can so we can all have this shared experience.
Yeah, and then the children will appear before you in 7 days. They won't do anything to you, but
Yeah. Don't say Winx 3 times while watching this video. If If you're enjoying this episode of the Winx Forever podcast, be sure to follow the show on your preferred streaming platform so that you're notified when new episodes are released. It was also interesting. There's a longer version of that commercial, which I thought was wild. In that version, well, I think in the short version too, they animated over the Hallowinx episode, like cartoon, with the Hallowinx outfits, which I thought was so interesting. It was a very like I get why they did it, because they wanted to like marry the two like instances that we use Hallowinx. And in that like reanimation, like they even show Tekna and Aisha in theirs as well, even though they do not get dolls. Like it's all wild to me. I don't understand what the reasoning was, like, but
I mean, for what it's worth, I think they looked pretty good. I'm just confused by the whole decision.
Looked great. Yes, right. They look amazing. And I love the reanimation over it. Like it's really cute and like well done for it being 2011 that they did this, with 2005 footage, right? Like
I'm shocked with how like if I had never seen this before, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks. I wouldn't think it was a reanimation.
Right, exactly. And so like that's really, and maybe that's what they were hoping for with that, because it had been 6 years since the episode aired. So like that kind of tracks.
Like, and they forgot it.
Right. Kids are dumb. They don't remember these things.
Yeah. Oh my God. The audience who like grew up watching Winx, yeah, they just stayed kids or they moved on to live action things,
Right. The two very wrong assumptions that Rainbow makes about their audience.
Every time, no matter how many times we tell them, and I think they just ignore us consciously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that pretty much wraps up all of the comics and the doll line. Oh wait, no, we didn't talk about the online game, which like that was a thing.
Oh yes, the game.
Yeah, I don't think I ever remember playing the game actually. No,
I didn't. I didn't even know it existed until I read this, and I was like, what? There was a game?
Yeah, there was a game, and there was, I feel like a couple. There was one with Pepe the Duck actually, which was Hallowinx's Magic Cauldron, and so Pepe like makes a magic, like you collect like ingredients to help Pepe make a magic potion, and it's Pepe the Duck. But it doesn't say when it was released. Yeah, so that's interesting, but it does have like a cute little like thumbnail for like what was on the website. So that's funny. But I also distinctly remember there being also like, so maybe that was like a Hallowinx like in 2006 game, and then there's another game I think about like the monster mission where like they fight the monsters. Like you are the Winx and you are fighting these monsters. I'm pretty sure that existed because that was the online game that they pushed, and the
I feel like I have faint memories of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like this had to have existed because like first of all, that's just brilliant. Like yes.
Right. Like Winx Clubs, like their integrative marketing plans for like online back in the day, like when online marketing really wasn't a thing, like they did really, really well with it in the early 2000s and like and even in the 2010s.
It's so shocking that like back when the internet was weird and like more eclectic, they knew what they were doing, but now that it's more like accessible and mainstream, they're just at a loss. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, I think what happened was they flew too close to the sun.
They peaked early.
It was a whole Icarus situation. They got a little toasty, and they haven't recovered since.
Why does that feel so accurate?
So if you guys, so let's turn it over to the audience. If you guys remember the game that we are talking about, the Monster Mission game where like you played as the Holy Trinity, Bloom, Stellar, Flora, and only them, because why would you include anyone else? And you battle these monsters in the comics. Like, let us know if you remember that, because I cannot find any traces of it online. maybe I'm not looking in the right place, but please let us know in the comments
Yes,
of this episode.
You all shall be our minions. Yes.
Do our bidding.
Go forth, creatures of the night.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so now I think that we've covered all of the supporting assets of the Hallowinx line. Shall we take a break before we head on into our rewatch discussion of season 2 episode 16?
That sounds like a good plan. I feel like our brains need like just a reprieve.
A minute. Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Well, we will be back for the part 2 of this special Hallowinx edition of the Winx Forever podcast, so don't go anywhere. That does it for part 1 of this 2-part special Hallowinx episode of the Winx Forever podcast. Thanks so much for listening. You can check out part 2 right now wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the show on your favorite streaming platform so that you're notified when new episodes are released. Join in on the conversation when you join the Winx Forever podcast Discord server. Special shout out to the Winx Forever mods in the Discord server, Chris, Tanya, and Luna Mooney. Link to join is in the description below. The theme for the Winx Forever podcast is the song She Makes Magic by Big Wild.